certificate ordinary level. The topic is soil profile, and the objectives of today's lesson is, by the end of the lesson, learners must be able to define soil profile, describe various soil horizons layers in terms of color, organic matter, and texture. Your host is Mr. Simba. Right, let's define soil profile. Soil profile can be defined as the vertical cross-section that is exposed when you dig a pit to expose the soil layers. So it shows the topsoil up to the parent rock. It also can be represented diagrammatically as layers A, B, C, and sometimes layer D. Layer A is well known as topsoil, and this topsoil, it has several characteristics. Layer B is known as subsoil, and layer C is known as parent material. The characteristics of topsoil are that the topsoil is dark in color, it contains humus, it contains loam soil, and it has a good drainage, and it contains soil living organisms, and it contains plant roots. Layer B, which is the subsoil, and layer C, which is the weathered rock parent material. Now, let's take a look at layer B. Layer B, which is the subsoil, it has the following characteristics. It is light in color. Why is it light in color? It's because it lacks humus. Humus is naturally dark in color, and remember, humus, by definition of a humus, is just organic matter that has been decomposed. Also, the subsoil is poorly drained. And also the subsoil, it has fewer plant roots, very few plant roots reach layer B. There is also fewer living organisms, meaning to say the air spaces are also limited on layer B, because living organisms, they create more air space in the soil. So layer B has fewer living organisms. It also contains leached minerals. When we talk about leaching, we are talking about the downward movement of minerals from the topsoil to the subsoil. We have also layer C. Layer C is the weathered rock, also known as the parent material. And its characteristics are as follows. It has no humus, it has few plant roots, very little water, and it has coarse and rock particles. Sometimes we have layer D, and layer D is simply the parent rock, which is also known as the bedrock. Now, if you take a look at the characteristics of parent rock, it is that it contains unweathered rock. So it means that it is not exposed to the agents of weathering. Another characteristic is that it can extend very deep underground, and it has no roots, and it has no humus. Let's take a look at some possible exam questions that might be asked. Right, question number 1. The diagram shows a soil profile. Label layer A, B, and C. This is one of the common questions that normally appears in the exam when they are asking about this topic of soil profile, where they will request you to label layer A and layer B and layer C. Are you able to identify layer A, layer B, and layer C? If so, write it down, then you send B the answers. Part B, define leaching and outline how leaching affects soil profiles. Do you know what is leaching? And do you know the effects of leaching to the soil profiles? What does it cause? What are its effects? This is what this question is trying to ask about. Also, in other ways, they can ask and say, describe one way how layer C can be changed through chemical processes. In other ways, they are saying, how can layer C be exposed to chemical weathering? Question D, explain how a named farming activity can damage a layer. If you look at layer A, this is our topsoil. And that topsoil, how are our farming activities damage the topsoil? So this question is just asking in relation to the farming activities that damages layer A. Question 2, the diagram below shows soil profile. Name the layers A, B. So you can see that this question, it has been repeated again. So like I said, these type of questions, they normally appear asking the same things on soil profile. So you need to be familiar by now in labeling layer A, layer B, layer C, and also layer D. Explain how layer C is weathered by an atmospheric gas. You need to know how atmospheric gases can cause the weathering of rocks. Part 3, discuss the importance of layer A in agriculture. You need to know how topsoil benefits agriculture. Another way they can ask, they can say, and for what is meant by soil profile? Here they are asking the definition of soil profile. How do you define soil profile? This is a possible question that can be asked during an examination. Question B, name the profile layer shown in the diagram. Give a reason for your answer. This question is clearly asking to see whether you know the characteristics of soil layers. Do you know the characteristics of topsoil? Do you know the characteristics of subsoil? Do you know the characteristics of weathered material and the bedrock? If you know, then this question will be easier for you. Next question, describe the significance of soil organisms to this layer. What is the importance of soil organisms on the topsoil? Organisms are very crucial in agriculture. And what are the importance of soil organisms in topsoil? For further questions and answers, give me a call on 0818-506-486 or simply visit our website www.atkins.today. Smart way of doing extra classes. We are there to help. Thank you very much.